I'm Joe Torres.
And I'm Tanya Rivero. Earlier today, President Donald Trump announced that he would slap a 25% tariff on all imports from Colombia. The move came after Colombia refused to accept 2 U.S. military planes deporting migrants. But in a statement just moments ago, the White House now says Colombia has agreed to all of Mr. Trump's terms. Colombia's government says it reached an agreement with the U.S. and a diplomatic meeting will take place in the coming days.
Meanwhile, today, border czar Tom Homan joined federal law enforcement agents in Chicago, where officials say they conducted targeted operations. In fact, U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement arrested nearly 1,000 people today, with operations in Los Angeles, Atlanta, and Omaha, Nebraska as well.
And as the enforcement ramps up, Homan has a stark warning to undocumented migrants. He told ABC's Martha Raddatz on This Week, quote, "If you are in the country illegally, you got a problem." Eyewitness News reporter Sonia Rincon is in the newsroom with the latest developments. Sonia.
Yeah, Tanya and Joe, the White House press secretary in just the last hour announced that Colombia has agreed to terms with the U.S., including accepting migrants from that country back on U.S. military flights. All this after President Trump announced those new tariffs and sanctions on Colombia for not accepting them. Now, just moments ago, the Colombian government announced it has come to an agreement with the U.S. And again, there will be that meeting between the two countries in the coming days. Meanwhile, the Trump administration's border czar is defending those latest ICE raids and deportation efforts, saying those in the country illegally who've committed crimes will be treated as threats to national security.
If you're in the country legally, you got a problem. And that's why I'm hoping those who are in the country illegally who have not been ordered removed by the federal judge should leave.
Tonight, as ICE carries out a sweeping operation in Chicago, it's making arrests to add to the more than 1,200 this weekend of undocumented suspects in various crimes around the country. Homeland Security has been getting help from the Department of Defense, with 1,500 additional troops headed to the U.S. border and using massive C-17 military cargo planes to transport migrants to their home countries.
DOD's helped administrations before, but not at this level. So it's a force multiplier, and it's sending a strong signal to the world. Our border's closed.
But those military flights have sparked an international dispute with Colombia. President Gustavo Petro's refusal to allow 2 of those flights to land has been met with a retaliatory blitz of tariffs and sanctions from President Trump. The president announcing the U.S. will impose 25% tariffs on all Colombian imports and threatening to raise them to 50% in a week. This is likely to hit American consumers with higher costs. The U.S. imports billions a year in Colombian crude oil, coffee, and bananas. The U.S. also imports more flowers and nursery stock from Colombia than any other country, according to the USDA. And Valentine's Day means big business for imported flower retailers. Trump also announced travel bans and visa restrictions on Colombian government officials and their supporters, claiming these measures are just the beginning. Colombia's president wasted no time hitting back, with 50% tariffs on U.S. goods, and in a rambling social media post telling Trump, "I resist you." Both Colombia and Mexico are refusing to allow U.S. military deportation flights, as ICE detention centers are expected to fill up quickly. On ABC's This Week, border czar Tom Homan said he's confident ICE will be getting more resources, and was asked if those federal agents should be going into schools.
ICE officers should have discretion to decide if a national security threat or a public safety threat in one of these facilities, then there should be an option for them to make the arrest.
But someday you could go into those schools and grab people who are just in the country illegally.
On a case-by-case basis, depending who they are, what the circumstances are. It's never a zero game.
Now, New York City Public Schools sent out a memo this weekend telling school staff what to do if agents show up on campus. They need to ask the agent to provide their ID, warrant, and information that includes the purpose of their arrival. They're supposed to let their school leader know that non-local law enforcement is in the building. And finally, they're instructed to wait to hear from senior field counsel on next steps. That notice explains that this is the existing protocol for non-local law enforcement. Joe and Tanya.
All right, Sonia, thanks.